Colorado just landed their potential starting quarterback for the 2025 season, plus the latest transfer news from the last couple of days. But before we get to today's video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you're watching this video, odds are you love college football, and odds are you aren't subscribed to my channel, so make sure to subscribe to one of the best college football communities here on YouTube. Colorado just landed one of the top quarterbacks available in the transfer portal in former Liberty quarterback Kaidon Salter. The veteran quarterback has one remaining season of eligibility. He'll be competing with five-star freshman Julian Lewis, who was the second overall recruit in the ESPN 300 rankings. The Buffaloes are bringing in one of the more accomplished dual-threat quarterbacks in all of college football. Salter has started 29 games for the Flames, and he earned Conference USA MVP honors in 2023 while leading the program to a 13-win season and a Fiesta Bowl bid. During his time at Liberty, Salter accounted for 6,500 total yards of offense and 66 touchdowns. Since the start of the 2023 season, his 1,700 rushing yards are the second most by an FBS quarterback. In 2023, Salter led the first perfect regular season in Liberty history while throwing a school record 32 passing touchdowns. The Flames won the Conference USA title in their first season in the league, and they won a bid to the Fiesta Bowl where they took on Oregon. He finished his season throwing for just under 3,000 yards with 1,100 rushing yards. His numbers did take a bit of a hit in 2024 as Salter only threw for 1,900 yards while adding 600 yards on the ground and had only 22 total touchdowns. Liberty finished their season 8-3. Now, granted, he did play in 3 fewer games than he did the year prior, so that might be why his numbers didn't look as great as they did the previous year. Since the start of the 2023 season, only one quarterback at the FBS level has thrown for at least 4,500 yards with 45 passing touchdowns, while adding 1,500 yards on the ground with 15 rushing scores. And, you guessed it, that's Kaden Salter. If I were to guess right now, he'll be the quarterback that wins the starting job for Colorado in 2025, but this is definitely going to be a fun battle to follow throughout the spring. Wisconsin is going to start the 2025 season with another new quarterback, a theme for them over the last couple of years. It looks like their starter for 2025 is going to be former Maryland quarterback Billy Edwards. Tyler Van Dyke began the season as the starter for Wisconsin in 2024. The former Miami transfer got hurt early in the year, and he missed the rest of the 2024 campaign, and Braden Locke took over. But both those quarterbacks entered the portal, opening up a spot at quarterback for the Badgers. Edwards had an up-and-down season in 2024 with Maryland that was filled with many highs, but with many lows as well. He finished his year with 2,900 passing yards and 15 passing touchdowns. He also added 5 touchdowns on the ground as well. Maryland won 3 of their first 4 games to begin the year, thanks largely to Edwards playing fantastic. In those first 4 games, he was averaging just under 300 passing yards a game. He had 8 passing touchdowns with only 2 interceptions and was completing 75% of his passes. Edwards still had a number of solid games the rest of the year, but he lost 6 of his final 7 starts. During that stretch, he averaged only 250 passing yards a game with 7 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Still, it was a solid season overall. He had 4 games with at least 300 passing yards and 8 games with at least 250 passing yards. In the Big Ten, that's pretty damn solid. Now, I'm not sure how he's going to look at Wisconsin, considering they seem to ruin their quarterbacks every year, but he's a proven starter who has had big games in the conference already. Here's a name you probably haven't heard in quite some time. Zack Kade is still slinging it, and he'll be transferring to Kentucky for 2025. This will be his 3rd different SEC team, as he previously spent time with Texas A&M and Auburn. The last 2 seasons, he's been at the FCS level with Incarnate Word. Calzada rushed for over 300 yards and had 5 rushing scores this past season while throwing for 3,800 yards and 35 passing touchdowns. In his 2 seasons at the FCS level, Calzada threw for more than 6,000 yards and had 53 passing touchdowns. Calzada first arrived in college in 2019 when he appeared in 3 games during a redshirt season with Texas A&M. He didn't play in any games in 2020, but he started 10 of 12 games for the Aggies in 2021. He threw for 2,300 yards and had 19 touchdowns, but he entered the transfer portal. He landed at Auburn in 2022, but he missed all of spring practice with an injury to his non-throwing shoulder. He opened up the season 3rd on the depth chart, but he ultimately decided to undergo season-ending surgery on his shoulder. After 1 season at Auburn, Calzada entered the portal, where he ended up at Incarnate Word. Kentucky was horrific at the quarterback position last season, so just by having Calzada Calzado's suit up, they're already going to be in better hands. Here's to hoping that third time's the charm for him in the SEC. Another quarterback you may be shocked to learn is still around is TJ Finley, who's going to be transferring to Tulane. For Finley, this is going to be his 5th different program. I'm not sure if that's a record for schools a quarterback has started games at, but it's definitely got to be really close. Finley began his career at LSU all the way back in 2020. He appeared in 5 games, throwing for just under 1,000 yards with 5 passing touchdowns. He then transferred to Auburn, where he'd spend the next 2 seasons. Overall, he appeared in a total of 13 games over those 2 years, throwing for 1,200 yards with 7 passing touchdowns. Finley then transferred to Texas State, where he saw by far the most success of his career. He completed 67% of his passes while throwing for 3,500 yards. He had 24 passing touchdowns and 5 rushing touchdowns. After his fantastic campaign with Texas State, Finley transferred to Western Kentucky for 2024. In his first 2 games of the season, Finley threw for just under 500 yards with a passing touchdown. However, in the 3rd game of the year, Finley suffered a lower leg injury, which ultimately ended his season. He now heads to Tulane, who has been one of the better group of 5 programs in all of college football over the last couple of years. They had a great quarterback in Darian Mensah this past year, but he entered the transfer portal, so they had an opening at the quarterback spot. If Finley is able to stay healthy and perform the way he did at Texas State back in 2023, this is going to be a great pickup for the Green Wave, and they should be competing for a potential playoff spot in 2025. Whenever I'm recording these videos, it seems like there's always a big transfer move that ends up dropping right in the middle, and today is no exception. Former Duke quarterback Malik Murphy is going to be transferring to Oregon State. Before landing at Duke last offseason, Murphy was at Texas for 2 seasons. He appeared in 7 games and made 2 starts, throwing for 500 yards with 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. He transferred to Duke this past season, where he had one of the best seasons ever by a Blue Devils quarterback. He threw for just under 3,000 yards while completing 60% of his passes. His 26 passing touchdowns were the most ever in a single season by a Duke quarterback. He also led the Blue Devils to a 9-3 season, their first 9-win regular season since 2014. Now, there are 2 surprises when it comes to Malik Murphy. The first, I was pretty surprised that he entered the transfer portal. I thought he was going to run it back at Duke, but I guess they wanted to go a different direction, or maybe he wanted to go a different direction. But after the season he had in 2024, no offense to Oregon State, I thought he was going to end up at a much better program than the Beavers. Again, no disrespect to Oregon State, they had a solid season this past year, but I thought Malik Murphy, after what he just did in the ACC, he was going to have a better opportunity for him. Now, I think he's actually going to do really well at Oregon State. I think he's actually going to improve on the numbers he posted this year. I think he's going to throw for more than 3,000 yards and potentially throw for 30 touchdowns. But yeah, him ending up at Oregon State, it's a bit of a head scratcher for me. Well, that wraps it up for today's video. What are your thoughts on the quarterbacks that ended up at new programs? Do you think Kaidon Salter is going to be the starting quarterback of Colorado in 2025, or do you think it's going to go to Julian Lewis? Whatever your thoughts and predictions are for the 2025 season, let me know in the comment section down below. Before you leave, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. I'm posting college football videos all off season long, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. Also, don't forget to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm, and it helps share this video and my channel with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you all in my next video.